Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope you're all having a great day. It has been very, very emotional if you are a Dallas Cowboy fan. We have literally gone through the ringer in the past week and a half from losing to the Cardinals and realizing that your season is pretty much done, to making some trades, that actually give us some hope, to then Marshawn Kneeland passing. It's just been kind of crazy. And today the Dallas Cowboys got back out on the field and getting back to work, and we got Brian Schottenheimer on his press conference, and it gets really emotional. And I want to bring that to you guys right now. Let's go to the tape.
I'd like to just take a few moments and offer my condolences to Marshawn's family, Catalina, his girlfriend, and we had an opportunity last night to celebrate Marshawn's life, tell some stories, share, laugh, cry. Marshawn loved the words "one love," so we talked a lot about love as we grieve, and I just got a chance to really share a couple of things that I'll miss the most about Marshawn. Those top couple things was he had the most playful spirit of any young man I've been around. His smile could take you to your knees. And in terms of him as an athlete, no one had a better motor than him. So my heart is heavy. Our team's heart is heavy. We don't move on, but we do move forward. Open up to questions.
Calvin.
Don't move on, but we...
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. How do you help your team, the staff, just kind of heal and try to, as you said, move forward?
Yeah, it's a process. There's been a lot of conversations with people that are clearly more of an expert than I am in dealing with grief. We've started the process in terms of Monday. The way we set up the schedule was I wanted just to, the problem, this happened, we're all in the bye, right? So you're making phone calls to people and you're trying to make sense of things, and you're not together. And we're always going to be stronger together. We are stronger together. So Monday we set it up to where we had a chance to be together and share and talk. And, we of course offered some people that can help us sort through what we're feeling and the emotions of what we're feeling. And yesterday we had what we call a brotherhood breakfast, where we just sat down for about 45 minutes and we just ate together and we just shared and we talked and laughed, cried. And then last night, I think the vigil was beautifully done. Beautifully done. It was difficult, as you can imagine. A couple of our players spoke, but it's the one thing that Catalina, his girlfriend, it was very important to her. And of course, these guys are incredible, and so they showed up in droves to be there to support her.
Have you talked to any other coaches? Because you have mentors. I don't know if you called DQ or Mike or you Coach Spurrier about what do I do? How do I help?
Yeah, I've talked to multiple people. I've talked to coaches. I've talked to, trained psychologists. I've talked to, we've got a great relationship with O2X. They're, former, special operations people. They deal with this, more so than we do on the battlefield and off the battlefield. And but there's no playbook. There's really not. And so that's where the late nights come in. And but the biggest thing for me is being strong for our football team. We've got an incredible locker room. That's where the culture of what we're trying to build. We are bonded more than any of us ever could have thought.
Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys. Could you just take us back to that night, and we haven't really had a chance to talk to you about how you found out and your initial emotions and what you were doing, and what did you do?
Yeah, Clarence, I'm going to be limited with the details. I apologize. I know you guys have to ask those questions. It's been a week now, but the biggest thing was got a phone call, and of course we were in the moment we had reason to be concerned about Marshawn, and so we moved forward with what we thought was the best plan of attack. And a little while later we got word, and I think I'll leave it at that. It's just difficult to talk about still, and but I'm very, very proud of our guys and the way they've handled this. We had a Zoom meeting on Thursday where guys could get on, and it was very heartfelt, some of the emotions, and it's a strong group, man. It's a strong group of young men, and they're leaning on one another. And one thing I've learned that's interesting is, when you talk to some of the experts, you guys probably do it as well, right? Hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. And their sense is that's not the right question. It's, what are you feeling? So that was pretty powerful for me.
I know you guys are doing the helmet decals. Are you going to leave it the locker as is? I mean, how do you? I know it's just beginning. You're still trying to get these answers. And how you?
Yeah. Again, we're going to honor Marshawn, his family, a number of different ways. The organization have been amazing. We've started the Marshawn Kneeland Memorial Fund, where we can all give and support Catalina, and she's pregnant, and so we want to make sure she's taken care of and the baby's taken care of for the rest of their lives. Our guys it's very important to them and to us. With the other decisions, he's still part of the team, and there'll be decisions that are made, but that won't be made just by me. That'll be made by me and the leadership of this group, and we'll make the right decision. But we've got time to make those decisions.
Brian, Todd Archer with ESPN. Football players and coaches, you guys can compartmentalize things and able to strive through things. How do you drive through something like this? How do you get through something like that?
One day at a time. Because I think it's going to hit everybody different. I literally wasn't sure I could get through my part of last night speaking at his candlelight vigil, and I did. You just take it one day at a time, and you don't have to have all the answers. We don't have all the answers. We probably won't have all the answers, but you lean into one another, you love on one another. I go back to, the culture and the guys in that locker room will be okay because of the strength that they draw from one another. And we've got some guys that have been through this. I've never been through something like this, this close, that hits this close to home. There's guys that I can draw from with their experiences, and everybody deals with it different. Some guys getting out on the grass is going to be the best thing in the world for them. Some guys getting out on the grass is going to be painful, and that's okay. And we're going to give each other grace and time. But I do promise you this, these guys will be ready to play against the Raiders. And we will honor Marshawn with how we play, not just against the Raiders, but for the rest of the season.
You talk about the culture that you've built and the talks you've had with guys. and I'm sure everybody does, have you said, what did I miss? What could I have done? What could I have seen during
Of course. I mean, those questions are natural. You try not to think about them. But when you're having very open and authentic conversations with these guys, the pain is real. The questions are real. But again, the more you talk to the experts, the people that deal with this, all the time, they say a lot of times you're never going to know, and so, but I'd be lying if I said to you, I don't wake up in the middle of the night or when I'm on the phone talking to one of these guys, have those thoughts like you do.
John Machado with The Athletic. I'm just wondering, I know you mentioned the One Love part at the beginning, but is there any other type, maybe a moment that stands out to you, your first time being around Marshawn, or just maybe around the facility or during a game or something that you're just thinking of, that you've been thinking about lately?
There's a lot of them. Again, I think I was able to share last night, so we do these, when O2X came in, we did these surveys, and so you got a chance to you ask the players different questions and try to get to know them on a deeper level, and all the players and coaches fill them out, and just the maturity of Marshawn and the way he spoke and the way he talked about work ethic and discipline and maturity, and it was really, really powerful for me. I think I probably go back to his touchdown the other night, because just the excitement on his face, and it was a huge part in that game for us, gave us a potential for a momentum swing. But when you talk about practice players and the way they work, from a OTA to a walkthrough to a game to whatever, you'd be hard pressed to ask anybody in that locker room if anybody worked harder than Marshawn.
And then just what were your thoughts when you see that teams around the league, they're doing like moments of silence, things like that? Just what were your thoughts?
Yeah, this is a special league, guys. I mean, we're blessed to be a part of this league. The outpouring of support for not just me, but our players and ownership, and that's what we love about this league, and that's what we love about this small fraternity of people that we get to be involved with. And if I could show you my phone right now, just the text message that you get from people just showing you love and support and prayer, and that's a big thing for me right now. Spend a lot of time in prayer and looking for answers. But yeah, the National Football League it's an amazing fraternity, and I feel blessed, and I know our players do, to be a part of it because of the support that we're receiving. But we do this together. We like I said, we don't move on, but we do move forward, and we do that together, and we do that by locking arms and working and grieving and growing and processing together.
Nick Harris, Star Telegram. Whether it be talking to guys on this team, his family, or just thinking back, is there any story that you've learned over the course of the last week about Marshawn that has stood out as you talk about his genuine love, that part of it?
I'll share this. His high school coach is a guy by the name of Brandon Kimball, and in Marshawn's survey that he filled out, he talked about, we asked who, 3 H's: hero, highlight, hardship, and his hero was Coach Kimball. And Coach Kimball spoke last night. I got a chance to visit with him, very emotional. His reasoning for that Coach Kimball was his hero was because he always looked out for him. And I think it shows you as a coach. I thanked him, number one, for that. I thought it was important that he heard that from me. And I also challenged our coaches to understand the impact that we're allowed and blessed and fortunate to have to impact these young men. And not just as football players, but as husbands, fathers, Christians. And so I think the fact that he chose his high school coach shows you the value of relationships to Marshawn, and how much he loves the game of football and how much he loved people.
How valuable have the resources that have come in? The league had said on Thursday morning that they send counseling resources to you guys. How valuable have those resources been? And are they still in the building?
Yes. Again, the league's been great. Our in-house people have been outstanding. We're doing it together, but we feel like we've got incredible support. But at the same time, it's us working through this together, and it's us showing us grace. We're a week out, right? Today's a week out, and it's not going to get easier. It's going to get different, and but I think the plan of getting out on the grass tomorrow and running around a little bit will be, like I said, therapeutic for some of these guys, and for some of the guys that are hurting, that's okay too.
I'm going to leave it right there. Later in this, he announced that they're starting a memorial fund for his girlfriend and his unborn child, Catalina, who recently discovered she's pregnant with their child. We want her and their child to be taken care of for the rest of their lives. Tragic. Remember, if you're having a hard time, 988. Don't go it alone. Thank you, everybody.